Okay, so last time I was live, I didn't have good sound. I listened to it and it didn't sound very good. So I got this mic. I hope it sounds better for you guys. In any case, today or in this video, I wanted to just show you this little book. It's called, uh, excuse me, Modern Hieroglyphs, Gestural Drawings in the European Vanguard, 1900 to 1918. This little book is also a catalog. It's a catalog from art exhibit that was held by the University of Pennsylvania and Davis Museum and Cultural Center and Wellesley College in Massachusetts. So they, I guess, shared the production of this exhibit. And this book was published, or this catalog was published in 1995. But I wanted to show you a couple of things because I think linear drawing is so important to any type of art that we do. It's observational linear drawing about the shapes and motions that creates the art that we are looking at. And that is important whether you do it with a syringe, whether you do it with a brush, whether you do it with a pencil. It's super critical. And I just want to show you a couple of little drawings from this. Okay, so this is the first one. This is by Henri Matisse. Okay. Having a hard time figuring out how to. Okay, because everything's backwards. All right, so there you go. So you get a good picture of what this drawing is like. But notice how he's sort of carefully observing, although not 100% accurately, but he's observing what that figure is doing when he looks at it from over the shoulder, from on top of the shoulder, not over the shoulder, from on top of the shoulder, and looking down at the figure. And you get a really good impression of what that figure is doing and the position it's taking just from the few lines that he's making, even though they're not perfect. And if you look at it, you can see, that they're not perfect. Look at how he's doing this thumb here, this hand and this thumb. It's almost a caricature of a hand, is this muscle really there, or maybe it's sort of like fat? I'm not sure. Look at the size of this foot. Now this seems realistic because from this perspective, this would these muscles and this shoulder would look the biggest, and then everything else would get smaller as it falls away from the perspective of the viewer. In this case, the person who was drawing it. So it's not perfect, but you definitely get a great sense of what that figure is doing, and being able to do that quickly with a pencil or a brush. In this case, it looks like it was a brush. Is really critical to your artistic development. And let me show you another one here. This is by a drawing from Fernand Léger. There you go. Okay, so again, these are not realistic in the sense that our legs are not like balloons, right? Our legs are not like balloons, but we get a real feel for the mass, for the posture, for the shape of that figure. And as you can see, it's looking from the bottom up, the opposite of the last one. In this case, it's from the bottom up. And so what's going to be biggest is going to be the legs, right? It's going to be this area and the thighs. And then the figure gets smaller as it goes up, and the smallest thing is the head. So this gesture is really critical. But look at the hand, how the hand is held. These are not realistic fingers, but they are a realistic gesture of those fingers in the sense that we understand what the hand is doing. We understand its position. The same thing over here. We understand that the hand's position. We understand this leg's position and this foot's position, and we feel it as authentic, even though it is not realistic in the way that we normally talk about realistic. And I think that And whatever art that is that you do, you have to be attentive to those things. I think many times new artists especially will start focusing on the details. We're like, oh, that knuckle isn't right, or let me draw in that fingernail or something like this, when in reality those things don't really matter. What really matters is the gesture correct? Is the position correct? Do you get a feel for how that figure is standing, where the weight is, how it's looking at you, how it's holding its shoulders? Those things are the things that are the most critical. And the rest, you can add if you want. You don't have to add if you don't want. It is really not that important for understanding what that figure is doing. And so I wanted to show it to you because sometimes when you're drawing with media like a syringe or other media that's more difficult, you don't have to be super attentive to every little detail. You just have to be attentive to the gesture. And people ask me sometimes, gee, how can you get something accurate by extruding it out of a syringe? Well, I don't have to get it accurate. I don't. All I have to do is get the gesture right. And by doing drawings like these, by practicing these kinds of gestural drawings, you can improve your skills. So this catalog, again, I don't know where you would actually get it, because it's a catalog from 1995. It's got some beautiful drawings that you can find other places. This is by Auguste Rodin. This drawing, for example, you see in many art books. So you have some really great drawings. Um, Here's some by Gustav Klimt, by Oskar Kokoschka. I saw some here by Egon Schiele. I hope I don't get demonetized for showing a butt there, but anyway. So again, you might be able to find this at an art store, or a bookstore that focuses on art books. I don't really know. I don't even remember where I picked it up. So thank you so much for joining this live stream, and I hope to see you soon in the next one.